who had worked all night, to his bedroom, I left him. Jiang was still in bed, sitting wrapped up in the quilts. As I was standing guard outside the door, I overheard bits of their conversation from inside the room. They were talking in low voices. It was Jiang complaining to Mao. She seemed to be telling him that someone was trying to persecute her, and was asking Mao to come to her assistance by speaking out in her defense. Mao refused, saying, "Nothing can change one's past record. If you're a true revolutionary, as you claim to have been when you were in Shanghai, why do you need me to speak on your behalf?" Soon they raised their voices. "Do I have to remind you," Jiang shouted, "that the Kuomintang reactionaries have told a lot of vicious lies. Their newspapers printed a lot of stories showing that both you and Zhu De were killed in action. And these stories were accompanied by not just one, but several photographs. Was there any truth in those? These people are doing exactly what the Kuomintang did. What's their game?" Then I heard Mao yell at her, "You muddle-headed fool! I'm nothing but a junior secretary." Jiang wouldn't stop crying. "And they needn't make such a big fuss about me. They're trying to get rid of me because they want to get rid of you. It's you they're really after. Get out of here, out!" Mao roared. I hurried away from the room so as to put some distance between myself and them. Hardly had I halted when Jiang, crying, flew out of the room, passing by me like a gust of wind, heading for Zhou and Lai's cave room. Whenever something like this happened, she would go straight to Zhou, who was a skillful mediator. That day, she talked with Zhou from early in the morning until noon. When she left, she looked calm. That afternoon, after waking up, Mao chain-smoked in bed. We had a long talk, during which he aired his grievances to me in a grave and sad tone. Here is a summary of what he said. "I would like to confide to you what is disturbing me. If Jiang weren't my wife but one of my attendants, I would have sent her away a long time ago. I married her in too great haste. What can I do now? In my position, I can't divorce her. She hasn't done anything bad enough to deserve that. And a divorce would be viewed unfavorably by the comrades and would give rise to all kinds of rumors. But if I don't get a divorce, she'll become a political embarrassment to me. So there's nothing I can do but try to put up with her." The military victories which we won soon after that quarrel lifted Mao out of his bad mood. One day, when Jiang sent the nurse to Mao to get a sample of his handwriting for Li Ne, who was learning to write Chinese characters, Mao said, "Ask her mother to teach her to write. I'm not a calligrapher. Her mother is." That relieved Jiang of her worries. She knew the storm had blown over. Once, Jiang had a plate of the preserved meat from General He Long prepared for Mao, so that Mao wouldn't have to eat black soybeans for once. But Mao thought otherwise. "Save it for the comrades from the front line," Mao said. "But where's the front line?" Jiang was displeased. "Is it east or west of the river? We're closer to the enemy troops than any of them are. They aren't seeing any action and don't have to keep moving from one place to another like we do. They can always get what they want to eat." That drew Mao's sharp criticism. Frowning, Mao said, "You have the wrong attitude. Even if you don't complain about having to eat those beans or having to keep on moving from one place to another, it doesn't mean that you can begrudge others, your comrades, if they don't have to eat beans and keep on the move." In Jiang's case, such an attitude was her undoing. It is not uncommon amongst most people, but important people should guard against it. Unfortunately, in Jiang's case, the situation was exacerbated by her unmistakable jealousy. Starting in 1953, the leaders of the Central Committee would visit the beach at Beidaihe in the summer. Jiang was a poor swimmer, but she was not ashamed of this in presence of other women crowding the beach who could or could not swim. But with Liu Shaoqi's wife, Wang Guangmei, it was a different story. The sight of one doing breaststroke, sidestroke, and backstroke in the water would always bring a sneer to the corners of her mouth. When things were starting to pick up for us, and final victory was no longer a near hope, but was beginning to materialize, some subtle, barely noticeable changes occurred in Jiang. She began to pamper herself. She derived increasing pleasure from summoning the bodyguards to her room with the electric bell and ordering them to do this and that for her, even when she could quite well do it herself. She seemed to love always having someone at her beck and call, interpreting status symbol, an acknowledgement of her new position in life. Hence, Jiang Tianyi, one of the bodyguards, was summoned to her room by the electric bell. When he hurried in, Jiang said, "Give me the hand warmer." He was right in her bed, within easy reach if she bent forward a little, but instead of getting it for herself, she had brought the bodyguard all the way to her room to fetch it for her. It made Jiang very sad when he recalled that previously Jiang had never acted like that, but used to decline our offers of help, saying, "No thanks, I think I can manage." She also became very choosy about her food, and increasingly so as supplies improved.